Are you struggling to get carrots to sprout? My simple carrot starting hack makes germination a breeze. So let me show you how to grow perfect carrots from seed to harvest. And since I forgot to mention it in my intro, hey guys, welcome back to the Laid Back Homestead. I'm Crystal, and I can't wait to share with you my favorite way of starting carrots from seeds. Ignore my junk in the background. For me, the whole joy of growing carrots from seed is simply in that I get to grow cool looking carrots. I mean, ultimately, that's what it's about, right? So I just want to take a moment to show you the cool carrots that I'm growing. I have this one here, the Long Rouge Sang, very colorful. I've grown these before. They are really pretty. I have some Olds Toucan. Not really sure how viable those are going to be. These seeds, some of them are very, very old. I also have some new Kuroda. And I actually have 2 packs of these. One is from 2020, so we'll see. The other one's from 2022. So I am going to try and start both of them just to see what we get. I have some newer Danvers. These are the Scarlet Nantes. These hold a very special place in my heart. This was the last thing my dad ever grew before leaving this earth. So this pack of seeds is really special to me. Also from 2020. And then I have here the Black Nebula. And just a little fun fact about the Black Nebula. They are true to this color. And if you are going to grow these, just be mindful of what you're going to prepare them or how you're going to cook them. They would probably make a great roasted carrot or like a side dish. I actually had made a soup and put them in the soup, and it turned the whole soup this weird purple color. So just be mindful. These for sure changed the color of the soup. I have the Cosmic Purple. These were really fun to grow. And these did not change the color of the soup, but I think that's because the inside's still orange, even though the outside is darker. And then I have this fun little rainbow mix. So it's just a bunch of different colors. And now we're going to get started with these seeds. My method for starting carrot seeds is the easiest method of all, and that is simply a wet paper towel. I have tried to grow carrots from seed for many years, and I've tried all the different ways that I could find. The board trick, the homemade seed tape, the just simply sprinkle them in a row and coming out and, thinning them down as they come up. The problem with all of that is that none of them have worked for me. I have even had years so bad where I would take an entire pack of seeds, which there's always a lot of seeds in a carrot pack, sprinkled them across one whole bed. I got 2 carrots that year. So for me, it's just not feasible to grow them that way. And a few years ago, it just dawned on me, give this a try. Now, what I will say is that you do have to be diligent about checking on your carrots. Carrot seeds, depending on the variety, can take anywhere from 7 to 21 days to germinate in the ground. Now, what I have found is that in a paper towel, I can get germination sometimes as fast as 2 to 3 days. Now, I can't promise you that every single one of your seeds is going to germinate in 2 to 3 days. I can't say that for sure, but I do typically have seeds start, especially if they're newer seeds, if they're fresher and newer, I do typically have better luck. So all I do is take a small little square, damp paper towel, and I just sprinkle the seeds on the paper towel. As many as you want. And I do kind of separate them a little bit. It'll make it easier as you're checking on them in the next couple of days. So as you can see, I sprinkle them on one half, and then I simply fold this over, make sure it's got contact, and I like to flip up this end so I make sure nothing spills out as I'm checking on my seeds. Now you can see here I have labeled, and I already have some of these going from the last couple of days. Some of my black nebulas, rainbow mix, cosmic purple, and I think that's the Danvers. Yeah. And then this is my 2020 new Karuta, and this is my 2022. So I'm just going to keep an eye on these, and every day you're going to come out and check it. Now these have been in here for a few days, but again, because the pack is so old, I'm not sure we're going to get germination. So even if you don't want to follow through with the rest of my method, as far as the planting out goes, this is still a good way just to test your seed packet for germination, because it is a little frustrating to go out and plant a bunch of seeds and dedicate space and then nothing comes up when I have other things that I could be planting out in its place. So I do this no matter what, just to make sure I'm not wasting my time. So I like to grow my carrots in grow bags, as you can see here. I have one and I'm going to amend it. I kind of just like to loosen up the soil a little bit. Now, as you can see right here, I have a worm tower. This is just a 2-liter that I cut in half, put some holes in, and I compost in place in here. And throughout the seasons, it breaks down. We do have some critters in here, but you end up with like this almost like vermicompost that I can use. And the plants, whatever I grow in here, always have access to it. Other than that, I will come in with just some organic granular, whatever you have. I'm sprinkling this around. And then I'm going to come in with some wood ash. This is out of my husband's smoker. Carrots are one of the vegetables that benefit from a little bit of this. I don't measure it out, but I also don't go crazy with it. I know it can raise your soil's pH. I haven't really had any issues with that. And I work it in pretty good so that when I go and put my carrot seed in, it's not going to be directly touching it. So now that I have this kind of how I want it, move anything I don't want. I like to kind of have, for this method, I like to have my bags ready to go, because you really do end up having to check your carrots every day. I try and flatten it out. Now I like to have my bags all done at one time, and I use a pencil, just a regular standard pencil. I use the eraser, and I will space out holes around my bag. I don't go deep. I'm literally just basically almost putting an impression. Now, I grow all different types of varieties of carrots, so your spacing you will need to determine as you go. And of course, you don't have to be this exact. You can simply come and sprinkle them out as you see fit. So I'm going to go around the bag, and I'm going to go ahead and put as many holes as I want in here based off of, again, remove anything super big, based off of the spacing. So every day you're going to want to come out and check on your carrot seeds. And I noticed today I have 2. You can see one right there and one right there. Now these have just sprouted. This is when you want to put them into the grow bags. Now this is a rainbow blend, so I have all different type of carrot varieties within this mix. So as I had mentioned before, you really want to come out and check your seeds every day to see if they have germinated. I try to get to them right away. And you can use your nail, you can use toothpicks, whatever you have. I had already pre-put some holes in this bag I showed earlier. So there are definitely some benefits to doing this method. For me, proper spacing is a big one. This way the carrots can grow and develop properly, and you don't end up with a big old tangled root. Also, this really limits any thinning that's required if you do the full planting out, pre-spacing. I find that this method is pretty hands-off once planted. I also find that with this method, there is less space wasted in your yard while you're waiting for germination that may or may not happen, as well as less water wasted because you're not having to go out every day and keep your soil moist consistently for 7 to 21 days. But for me, the biggest benefit to this method is just simply faster germination. You know, the faster it germinates, the faster I get carrots. So this method is a win-win for me. And now we just mist it in. So that's really all there is to it. And what I will do is I will come out, like I said, every day, and whoever's germinated, I will put them out in their allocated spaces. I'm going to do several bags of carrots, which leads me to this guy. I'm going to go ahead and harvest. Obviously, we have a bunch of weeds in here, but I want to go ahead and harvest the last of these carrots just to show you proof that it does work. These carrots were started this exact same method. These are from spring. That's why they are well past their prime. They've been in the heat. And let me go get a glove so I can get them out. You could tell he's been in here past his prime. I think that's why he's got all these extra roots on him, but still not a bad looking carrot. So that's it. It's a pretty easy hack. You just have to be diligent. That's the one thing. If you don't want to meticulously place each seed, you don't have to. You can just take your paper towel, and once you see you have several that have germinated, just sprinkle them. Shake it, sprinkle it all on top of your soil, pat it down, keep it wet, and you'll still get carrots to germinate. You don't have to be that level of meticulous. But for me, I don't really like having to thin carrots, and this is just a way, even though, yeah, it's a little bit more work up front, once they're growing, they're pretty much growing. I don't babysit carrots. So that's another reason why I really like them. If you're growing any cool varieties of carrots, please share your varieties down below. I would love to know what it is. I love growing new things, and I'm always looking for new seeds. So yes, if you have a cool variety, or if you have a cool seed starting hack or a tip or trick of your own, especially for something like carrots, share that also. And if you found this video helpful, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you're into gardening and homesteading content, I encourage you to subscribe. And until next time, stay blessed.